Hello Gamerverse, I'm Nicholas Skinner of Skinner Games, and you're here for another episode of Game Reviews in 5 minutes or less. Now this 5-minute review, we're talking about this game, Low Fantasy Gaming. This game by Stephen J. Grodzicki, which I hope I'm saying right, is really a lot of fun. It's a rules light game, so that you don't have to juggle a ton of different books or a lot of different things, which I'm always a fan of. Now the PDF for this game used to be free, so you can go out and check it out right now to see whether or not you want to pick up the softbound copy. I believe I got this one printed through Lulu. The links of which I will be posting in the description below. On the 5th page in, it gives you a nice breakdown of some of the cool things about the system, and I'll read a couple of those. It says, core features. For those familiar with the D20 based fantasy role-playing games, LFG differs as follows. 5 classes only. The Barbarian, the Bard, the Fighter, the Rogue, and the Magic User. Diminishing Luck attribute that replaces saving throws and powers some martial exploits. And I'll talk about the Luck attribute here in a bit. Dark and dangerous magic tests, making all spell casting inherently dangerous. No at-will or resurrection magic. Rare magical items with obvious and discrete properties that unlock as their owners level up. Also, the author is pretty active in publishing new adventures and things for people to look at, and a lot of the stuff is pretty cheap. Now, luck is kind of a temporary attribute. At the beginning of your adventure, you get 10 plus half of your level to be able to make rolls. Now, here's what gets interesting about this, is that your luck score can be modified by different attributes, such as dex if you're dodging out of the way. But if you're successful, the luck attribute actually decreases, which seems kind of counterintuitive if you're thinking of luck. Maybe it should increase. No, luck is you are lucky to get out of the way of something. And eventually, the longer you adventure, the more tired you become, and the more prone you are to accident. Now you have long and short rests like Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition in this game, and with a long rest you can regain your luck. Something else that I really like about this system is the injuries. Now you don't just get hit and you're fine, or have a near-death experience and you're okay. You can become staggered, all dead, or mostly dead. Now something that's interesting about being mostly dead is that you get to roll on a table of injuries and setbacks. So if you have a near-death experience, something bad's going to happen to you. And here's an example. Internal bleeding. Whenever you attempt an action in combat, you must make a con or will check, your choice. If unsuccessful, you lose your action. Cure minor injury or 3 to 6 days of rest cures the injury. Also, it was described that magic is dark and dangerous. It's not always kind or happy. When you cast a spell, you roll a d20, sort of like a save, but what you're doing is trying to avoid rolling a 1. And every time you don't roll a 1, the likelihood of you rolling badly goes up by 1. So if you're casting a spell and you roll above a 1, the next time your range is between a 1 and a 2. You keep rolling successfully, that range is going to go up until you fail. Now when you do trigger a dark and dangerous magical effect, 3 things happen. You lose a point of luck, the range is reset back to 1, and the Game Master rolls on a dark and dangerous magic table. Some of the results aren't so bad. For instance, one of them is that all the plant life around you withers and dies. Or you unlearn a random spell for 1d6 days. Inconvenient, but not terrible. However, one of my favorite results is Jaws. You grow to 8 feet tall, your jaws and limbs distending to grotesque proportions. You get a powerful urge to devour your enemies. If possible, you must use your move action to close with an enemy. If in melee, you must use your action to make a bite attack, causing 2d6 plus 3 damage. On a natural 19 to 20 attack roll, you sever a target's limb or head at GM discretion. After 1 minute, you return to normal. Now this system has a few other cool quirks that you guys should take a look at. The magic item stuff is pretty awesome. I'm not going to spoil everything for you because I want you to take a look at the book. Now for those of you who really love low fantasy games, I highly suggest that you take a look at Low Fantasy Gaming. I guarantee you won't be disappointed with it, or at least give you some really great ideas for your home game. If you found this video informative, please give us that old like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, take a look at our other show, Retro Roleplaying, where we play through some of these systems that we talk about here, so you can see how they work in real-life situations. We do plan on playing through Low Fantasy Gaming sometime in the future, probably next year. So keep an eye out for that one. You can see how the game works. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and as always, happy gaming!